Many of Indian Nawabs to begin commissioning imposing oil portrait by European painters. You have seen how the British posted residents in Indian courts and began controlling the affair of the state, undermining the power of the king. Some of these Nawab reacted against the interference, others accepted the political and cultural superiority of the British. They hoped to socialism with the British and adopt their style and taste. Muhammad Ali Khan was one such Nawab after a war with the British in the 1770s. He became a department pensioner of the East India Company, but he nonetheless commissioned two visiting European artists, Tilly Kettle and George Williams, to paint his portraits and gifted these paintings to the King of England and the directors of the East India Company. The Nawab had lost political power, but the portraits allowed him to look at himself as a royal figure. Look at the painting by Williams. Notice the way Nawab posed and how he asserted his majority. There was a third category of imperial art called history painting. This tradition suited to dramatics and recreates various episodes of British imperial history and enjoyed great prestige and popularity during the late 18th and early 19th centuries. British victories in India served as rich material for history painters in Britain. These painters drew on first-hand sketches and accounts of travelers to depreciate for the British public a favorable image of British actions in India. This painting once again celebrated the British, their power, their victories, their supremacy. Once one of the first of these history painting was produced as portrait painting became popular. Many European portrait painters came to India in search of profitable commissions. One of the most famous of the visiting European painters was John Jopny. He was born in Germany, migrated to England, came in India in the mid 1780s for 5 years. Figure 3 and 4 are two examples of the portrait that Jopny painted. Next, notice the way figures of Indian servants and spraving lawns of continental mansions appear in such protest. See how the Indians are shown as submissive, as inferior, as serving their white masters, while the British are shown as superior and imperious. They flaunt their clothes, stand regally, or sit arrogantly and live a life of luxury. Indians are never at that center of such paintings. They usually occupy a shadow background. Next, by Francis Human in 1762 and placed to public display in the Vauxhall Gardens in London. Picture 7. The British had just defeated Sirajuddaulah in the famous Battle of Plassey and installed Mir Jafar as the Nawab of Murshidabad. It was a victory won through conspiracy, and the trader Mr. Mir Jafar, was awarded the title of Nawab in the painting by Human. This act of aggression and conquest in is it defeated. It shows Lord Clive being welcomed by Mir Jafar and his troops after the Battle of Plassey. Next, the celebration of British military triumphs can be seen in the many paintings of the Battle of now Tipu Sultan of Mysore, as you know, was one of the most powerful enemies of the British. He was finally defeated in 1998, the famous Battle of. Notice the way of the battle scene is painted in figure 8. The British troops are shown storming the fort from all sides, cutting Tipu's soldiers to piece, climbing the walls, raising the British flag aloft on the ramparts of Tipu's forts. It is painting full of action and energy. The paintings dramatize the event and glorify the British Trump. Next, imperial history paintings should do create a public memory of imperial triumphs. Victories had to be remembered, implemented in the memory of people both in India and Britain. Only that could be British appear and all powerful. What happened to artists to earlier painted miniatures? How did the painters at Indian courts react to the new traditions imperial art?